The continued debate about free speech, justice, and public order stirred up by Donald Trump, and there's a very interesting post about whether or not Donald Trump is technically in the process of senility. The imprisonment of Lucy Connelly for inciting racial hatred after her 51-word social media post following the tragic Southport killings and the actions of Axel Rudakabana has become a lightning rod for divergent anxieties about over-policing of online speech, about double standards, about the failure of our political leaders to draw the line between criticism and incitement. So going back to the facts, on the 29th of July 2024, shortly after the murder of the three girls in Southport, Connolly, a childminder from Northampton, posted an inflammatory tweet to her 9,000 followers. It called for the mass deportation now and suggested setting fire to hotels housing asylum seekers, and it concluded with the line, if that makes me racist, so be it, demonstrating that she knew what she was writing. Viewed over 310,000 times, the tweet sparked widespread condemnation. Connolly was arrested, pleaded guilty to inciting racial hatred under Section 19 of the Public Order Act 1986, and was sentenced to 31 months in jail. Her appeal has recently been dismissed. The court found her culpability to be high and her intent clear, not merely emotional venting, but, as the judgment put it, an incitement to serious violence. And somebody's left a comment, and I if I can find the comment, I'm going to read it because it's interesting and detailed, and the detail is always fascinating. From George de la Tour, received one of the highest number of hearts from you. During the same period as Lucy Connelly's tweet, Nick Lowes, the chief executive of Hope Not Hate, made an unfounded claim of an acid attack on a Muslim woman. He tweeted, "Reports are coming in of acid being thrown out of a car window at a Muslim woman in Middlesbrough. Absolutely horrendous." His tweet was viewed over 100,000 times before being deleted. Cleveland police subsequently stated that they'd received no reports or evidence of such an incident. Lowes later apologised for the tweet, acknowledging that it was based on unverified information. In this case, the authorities decided that even though Lowes had exacerbated racial tensions during a volatile period, by spreading misinformation, his apology was sufficient. No further action was taken. During the unrest in Stoke-on-Trent on August the 3rd, a police liaison officer was filmed advising a group of Muslim men outside the Durul Fala Mosque in Hanley to stash the weapons in the mosque, and we won't need to arrest anyone. If the men were carrying weapons, they would have been breaking the Prevention of Crime Act 1951, the Public Order Act 1986, and the Criminal Justice Act 1988, and the officer would have been duty-bound to arrest them. Such crimes typically carry a 4-year sentence, but the officer decided to give the men an amnesty and effectively announce the amnesty to the entire crowd present. Now, I don't think this was a call to action. I think this was a misunderstood news story. And if justice is to be respected, it must be consistent. Consider, for example, the variety of different tweets and stories which came out at that time. During the same wave of unrest, you've not only got the Nick Lowes story and the claim about the police. It's not suggested that Lowes had malicious intent, but the impact spreading unverified racialized fear in a febrile environment surely merits scrutiny, and there must be space in our justice system for proportionality and parity. And then the video from Stoke-on-Trent, the police liaison officer who advised Muslim counter-protesters to stash the weapons in the mosque, to avoid arrest, that officer on camera appeared to offer a de facto amnesty, and it gives rise to this idea of a two-tier policing. Staffordshire police investigated, but the damage to public trust was certainly done. A two-tier policing narrative took hold, and no discussion of Connelly can exclude the political ecosystem in which her words were read. Nigel Farage, just days after the Southport killings, released a video implying a state cover-up and questioning whether the truth was being withheld. He didn't incite violence directly. Indeed, he's since insisted he was merely asking questions. He's not shallow. But his remarks were rapidly adopted by far-right pages where fantasies of a race war and conspiracy were shared like wildfire. And the former counter-terror chief, Neil Basu, accused Farage of giving succour to the EDL and undermining the police. Brendan Cox, the widow of the murdered MP Joe Cox, described him as a Tony Robinson in a suit. And here lies the real question. If Connolly's words were viewed as dangerous enough to merit a prison sentence, why are we not investigating the influence of Farage's questions that lent legitimacy to online threats, protests, and vigilante-style hostility? Connelly was not a street thug, no brick-wielding rioter. She was a bereaved mother, overwhelmed by grief and fury, whose tweet was idiotic, dangerous, and deeply offensive. But her case raises uncomfortable comparisons. Why do we accept a 31-month sentence for one tweet when we often see lighter sentences or no sentences for assault or harassment, or indeed simply asking questions? And what are those on the other side, whether Nick Lowe's or the mosque incident or commentators like Mark Heath, currently on trial for more sustained online rhetoric? Either we believe in one law for all, or we slide towards a justice system that punishes optics and makes examples rather than meting out proportionate accountability. Either we believe in a law that is linked to mercy and clemency, as for example in the Mike Amesbury treatment. He was the MP who attacked one of his constituents, or we start asking questions about fairness. The Connelly case is not merely about one tweet or one woman. It's a prism through which we glimpse the fragility of public confidence, the politicization of justice, and the importance of consistency. It forces us to ask, do we punish the act or the person? Do we sentence anger or violence? Can we remain committed to both free speech and social peace without collapsing into hypocrisy? This isn't a call solely for Connolly's exoneration. Actually, it's not a call for Connolly's exoneration at all. It's a call for clemency. It's a call for perspective and a challenge to all sides to treat speech, law, and justice with the seriousness